trouble. All right, ready? All right. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Welcome to the December 20, 2021 meeting for the Board of County Commissioners for Shawnee County. My name is Kevin Cook. I serve as the chair this year, also representing District 2. Joining me this morning is Commissioner Bill Rippon, representing District 1. Good morning.
Good morning.
Commissioner Aaron Mays, representing District 3. Good morning.
Morning.
Commissioner Rippon, before we get started, I know that you have commandeered our video system. Do you want to explain?
Yes. I just wanted people to see this is the Deer Creek Trail Project, and I thought these were great photographs. There's 4 bridges on that project, and it's always fun when they bring the cranes in and set these bridges. This one is at 21st and Carnahan, and it's actually 2 pieces, and they have 2 cranes, and they bring them together, and it's quite a show when they bring it all together. And but anyway, just wanted you to see that.
Very good. Thank you.
That's it. My presentation is over. Concluded.
And now that we've hit the highlight of the meeting.
Now, go on to the county clerk. Okay, thanks. First item is item 3, consent agenda.
There is one item on the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. All opposed, reflect that passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item 4, new business. A, county clerk number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Commissioners, this morning we have vouchers totaling $451,146.88. 2 items to highlight on that. Under equipment fund to the WT Group LLC for $10,057.89 is for an ADA audit of parks. And then also under general expense for Willis Towers Watson Midwest for $10,450 is for some insurance on boiler and machinery. I don't have any questions about this. If you guys don't, then I will move for approval.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mays.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed, reflect that it passes 3-0. And it's a good thing that we have Willis Towers Watson here. They can talk to us a little bit later on item number 3 about what they do. So, Madam Clerk, our next item.
Item A2, consider correction orders.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed, reflect that it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item A3, consider authorization and execution of contract C477-2021 with Willis Towers Watson Midwest, Inc. for Shawnee County's 2022 insurance coverage. And Commissioners, I have with me today, I have Jan Mason and Kent Miller from Willis Towers Watson. And we are, we carry insurance coverage. I had sent you emails, of course, but they are our broker for the coverage you're going to consider today, our commercial, our equipment and crime, our on the boiler and machinery, our automobile, our above-ground storage, and our excess work comp. And we have had, it's been kind of a interesting year, couple years. We've didn't have quite as bad the results as we thought we would. Betty wasn't like jumping up and down when I told her what the total increase was, but considering it could have been much worse. And I will ask Kent to come forward if you come to the podium, and you can he will talk to you a little bit more about the coverage they have and any questions you might have for him.
Hi, I'm Kent Miller with Willis Towers Watson. I serve as your primary consultant out of Kansas, and I think it's all kind of laid out here. We had better than expected rate increase this year. The typical rate increases that we're seeing across the board are much higher, and it goes by line. In general, we're pleased with this overall increase of 13.4%. If anybody has any questions line by line, or if you'd like to go through and understand anything more about the industry, or we went through several carriers. Obviously, I'm sure you guys realize we have hundreds of carriers that we work with and work for. We know which ones to go to for municipalities and counties, and we take more of a surgical approach when we approach these markets. So I'm not sure if anybody has any questions on that.
Is there anything that you would want us to specifically be aware of or concerned about or maybe look at in the future? Or any maybe future planning that you might be able to offer to us?
We have a various loss control unit that we're happy to deploy and implement. If you guys have any questions specifically on work comp or buildings or any type of loss control studies, we have a myriad of those services that we do offer. I guess what I would say is going into this next year with inflation costs continuing to go up, we're about to reach hyperinflation. The treaties this year are being renewed with caution. So there's insurance companies and then there's reinsurance companies, and those reinsurance companies' treaties are all coming due here in the next several months. We monitor those frequently. We watch those, and I think that we're starting to catch the peak of the insurance premium increases, barring we don't have a big tornado. This, of course, you guys understand the last few weeks having tornadoes in December. We're watching climate. Climate's a big thing for everybody to be watching. So we're watching all those patterns and making sure that, so if there's any big changes coming along in that standpoint, we're able to keep you guys informed of that.
Okay. Commissioner Mays, Commissioner Rippon, any questions you would have?
No.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Then, with that being said, Ms. Beck, is there anything additional you would have?
I just want to let you know that they do, under the excess work comp coverage, of course, obviously we self-insure for our work comp, but the Safety National is a really good company, and I will send out probably a couple, 3 times a year to all of the departments like Public Works and the Sheriff and even the DOC. They don't have as many vehicles, but it's vehicles and just in general safety, and they offer free online webinars such like that for the high speed and the large vehicle and the solid waste and such like that. So I find that to be very useful. Anytime something comes through, and I get a lot of notifications throughout the year, I send them out to the appropriate departments. Sometimes I send it out to all of them and just say, this isn't going to apply to all of you, but they might. So I find that to be very, very helpful. And Kent and Jan are there. They're always available. And Rebecca Schaefer, she's another of the workers that we work with. And I just can't say enough about them. They walk us through many things that sometimes things don't work, or we are having a question on a claim or something, and they just help us out. It's great.
Great. All right. Well, that being said, I'll make a motion to approve the contract noting the increase.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Reflect that it passes 3-0. Thank you for being here this morning.
Appreciate
and
it.
look forward to seeing you and doing more business with you.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, our next item.
Item B, Facilities Management. Number 1, consider approval of request to contract with Modern Business Interiors to purchase office furniture for 707 Southeast Quincy, utilizing State of Kansas contract pricing with National Furniture Supply and Hahn Office Furniture at the current 2021 pricing at a not to exceed $265,456.14 with funding from the ARPA project number 2021-19.
Good morning, Commissioners. Nelda Henning, Director of Facilities Management. I know this seems like we're putting the cart before the horse. I had approached a furniture designer to start talking about what furniture would be looking like in the new building, and she told me basically that price increases were going to be pretty high come January 1 for the state of Kansas contracts, since they only allow 2 price increases per year. When we actually sat down and started looking at the numbers, based on what the cost increases that came out, I think it was 2 weeks ago, from the furniture manufacturers, the cost difference would be approximately $50,000 if we did not purchase before January 1st. So I am asking you to consider the purchase of the furniture ahead of time. The price listed includes delivery, storage, and installation of the furniture if we order it now.
Now, the furniture the county commission currently has is mid-century modern and well-loved, and the falling apart. But can you tell us what we would expect or what we're looking at as far as new furniture goes?
New furniture is basically traditional. Wood desks, very simple in design, nothing fancy. We're trying to simplify it down, considering most people nowadays use computers. They don't use desk drawers and filing cabinets. Most of the storage is online. So anything that we could do to simplify and modernize the furniture, we've done. The chairs in the commission chambers will be a little bit simpler in design and not as heavily padded as these. Plus, we won't have to worry about the padding degrading down onto the floor that we do have now. So it's definitely a little bit more modern, a little bit more streamlined furniture.
Were we going to expect another 60 years of use out of this new furniture?
I don't think you could expect 60 years out of anything we buy now, but we'll do our darndest to make sure we can get the best use out of it we can get.
Okay. And then the furniture that we do have, it will be repurposed through the county or surplused?
Most of the offices that are being vacated out of the courthouse, that are being moved to 707, are leaving their furniture because those offices will be occupied by someone in the courthouse. So it's not that you're getting new furniture and we're throwing the old away. Actually, the old is going to be put to use for a while until the replacements could be put into a budget.
Okay. Questions? All right. Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mays.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Reflect that it passes 3-0.
Thank you, and I wish you a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
You too.
Our next item.
Item C, Department of Corrections, number 1, request for authorization to reclassify, post, and fill a vacant recruitment specialist position with an annual salary including benefits of $60,429,051 to be paid from the detention budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. Commissioner Cook, if it makes you feel any better, the desk I have is the original desk from the jail, so it's been there 34 years.
It's only been there since 1987.
1980,
So it's-
88 for us, for us.
You got another 30 years to go.
Yes. So, this is just a request that due to the recent retirement of a employee at the jail, we are just simply asking to reclassify the position name. It's the same range and cost of that's already budgeted for. This is not a new position, but in speaking with HR and those in human resource, they asked us that this did need to come to the commission to get approval to rename the position. So that's essentially what it is. We're going to have a recruitment specialist that's going to be solely focused on recruitment at the Department of Corrections, looking at all of our the whole hiring process and really establishing, instead of having bits and pieces, to establishing and recognizing one person. And we do think this will be beneficial for us. So I stand for any questions you may have.
Any questions for Brian? Is there a motion?
I would move for
I'll
approval.
second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Reflect that it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item C2, consider approval of request to transfer the remaining funds from the 2021 annual budget not to exceed $750,000 to the detention budget medical expenses ledger job ledger.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. And working with Betty Griner on this, this is consistent with the resolution that we passed, I believe, 2 years ago, or a couple years ago, allowing us to take any of our surplus area of monies within the medical area and being able to put it into a special fund to deal with those medical bills that we get. We will have medical bills that will go well into 2022 before they get adjudicated and sent to us. This allows us to pay for those. I can tell you that this is a very unpredictable market, depending on what you get. I can tell you over the last month, we've had 4 people with serious extended health issues that will cost a great deal of money for the Department of Corrections in Shawnee County. So this is just a way for us that to go ahead, Betty. To be more proactive in working with Betty Griner on setting up this fund. Go ahead, Betty.
Betty Griner, Director of Administrative Services. This is just a way to help us keep their budget as level as possible. As he said, these medical expenses, we never know from year to year, when they may have excessive medical expenses for inmates. So this way, we can keep their budget at a level amount, and then they use the medical expense that has been budgeted for that year first, and then if they have exhausted all those resources, then they can go to this money that's been set aside just for this purpose. And like I say, it's a way to kind of level out the budgeting for their department.
Any questions?
No.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, reflect that it passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Our next item.
Item D, Public Works, number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract fee C-478-2021 with Finney and Turnip Seed Transportation and Civil Engineering LLC to provide professional design services as necessary for the replacement of the Northwest 66th Street Bridge over Indian Creek for a cost of $62,500 with funding from the Federal Surface Transportation Funds and the Shawnee County 2017 through 2031 countywide half-cent sales tax funds.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. On November 3rd of this year, the Professional Services Committee met and unanimously selected Finney and Turnip Seed to provide engineering design services for this project. If you recall, this project now is a joint KDOT Shawnee County funded project. The design, even though it does not say that under funding sources, the second bullet should include design as 100% Shawnee County funded. So this contract will be funded 100% through Public Works funds. And with that, I look forward to any questions you might have.
Questions? Motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, reflect that it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item D2, consider approval of change order number 1, final, to contract C-45-2021 with Ham Inc., reflecting an as awarded versus as constructed quantities resulting in the increase of $54,085.68 for the Southeast 45th California Avenue to Croco Road Phase 1 project.
Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. Yes, this is the final change order for this 45th Street, Southeast 45th Street project. It results in a approximately $54,000 increase to the construction contract. If you look at the summary of line items on the attachment that was included, you can see that although some line items were under the as-let amount and some were over, they pretty much canceled out. And really the reason for the $54,000 increase is due to the usual asphalt price adjustment, which we've seen an increase in that index over the past 12 months. And then we powder coated a bridge rail to better match the surroundings and to fit in with the environment. And with that, take your questions.
Questions?
None.
All right.
I would move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, reflect that it passes 3-0. Our next,
Pardon me. Just to add on that item, even though the construction costs went up, we were well below the project budget on that.
and note that on time, under budget, it's
Absolutely.
what we come to expect. So, our next item.
Item D3, consider approval of request to sole source purchase 2 lobe blower blocks, don't know what they are, and other miscellaneous parts of the rehabilitation of 2 blower packs in use at the Sherwood Regional Wastewater Treatment Plant at a maximum cost of $27,696.50 to be 100% user fee funded.
Well, Kurt, what's a lobe blower?
Block.
They spin, and the fins, when they spin, they interlock and they force air into the water. It's about the only thing I can say that explains it.
A fan.
And there you go.
It's a fan.
It's Yeah, I guess you could say it's two fans that mesh, a gear.
Okay. So this is the Sherwood Wastewater Project.
I don't know if I said it, Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. So I'll say it again. The plant currently operates using 7 of these blower blocks. And at the very top of the block is the actual blower itself. These blowers, 2 low blowers, are original to the plant. Back in early 2020, we replaced 2 of those. And now we would like to replace 2 more. So with the purchase of these 2, we will have replaced 4 of the 7. Other than that, again, they inject air, oxygen into the water, and I think you can see that takes a lot of energy. So these are very robust units, and that's why they're very expensive. These items come from Germany. We have a sole source request to purchase those from the same manufacturer as the existing units, so they all match. Parts are available. They can be used among the 7 units. And with that, I take your questions.
So Kurt, this leaves 3 of the old kind, right?
Yes, there were 3 of the original.
And one of the ones that we're replacing is not working at all, right?
It's correct. Right now, the plant's operating with 6 blowers. During the winter months, there's not as great an oxygen need, so we're fine. But as we approach next spring, next summer, the oxygen needs go up, and so we'll want to have 7 blower blocks in operation.
Okay, so the one that is operational, can that be retained to use for parts for the other ones?
They're shot.
Okay.
Yeah. We tried to rehab the units. They were not rehabable.
Okay.
And so that's why we're purchasing. So I don't think it would be of any benefit to retain the existing units.
Okay. And then any estimate on when we're going to need to replace the other 3?
I may be coming back next year or the year after we're going to probably purchase 3 of those at that time to save on some shipping, I suppose. And that should take care of all 7.
Okay. So we're not waiting until another one breaks, though?
No, we're going to have one, in my memo here, I state that one unit will replace one that's presently out of operation, and then the 4th unit will replace a unit that we think is approaching end of life.
Right. Okay. All right. I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed, reflected it passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next item.
Item E, Parks and Recreation, number 1, consider approval of request to award a bid to Edwards Chemicals for the purchase of aquatic chemicals for the 2022 season with funding from the department operating budget and authorization and execution of contract C-479-2021 for same.
Good morning, Commissioners. Randy Luby, Parks and Recreation. This last fall, you gave us permission to go out for bid for our pool chemicals. We only had one company that supplied a bid, but it was Edward Chemicals, who we've used for many, many years. Have always been very pleased with their service as their product. Be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Questions?
I move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. All opposed, reflected it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item E2, consider approval of request to advertise and fill the vacant park maintenance worker position at an annual salary, including benefits, of $41,463.74, and fill any subsequent positions which become vacant from filling this position.
Good morning, Commissioners. Randy Luby, Parks and Recreation. Again, we went out for bid for different tournament hosts for our oh, I'm sorry.
This is the park maintenance position. Commissioner.
Good morning, Commissioner John Boyd, Parks and Recreation. We're requesting approval to advertise and fill his entry-level position due to a resignation.
All right.
Any
Any questions?
No, I'd move for approval.
Second.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. All opposed, reflected it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item E3, consider approval of request to award a bid to Merricrete for the installation of concrete walks in Home Park and Gwendolyn Brooks Park at a cost of $108,196. The funding from the 2021 CIP funds and authorization and execution of contract C480-2021 for same.
Good morning again, Commissioner John Boyd, Parks and Recreation. We received bids to replace and install some sidewalks with the CIP projects funding. We got 6 competent bids, and we recommend Americrete to do the project. Be available for questions.
Start with Horn Park. Horn is just to the south of 29th Street. And
It's south of 470 and
It's south of-
35th and
southwest
Cambridge,
So-
right in that area.
It's on that.
yeah.
So a little south and east of Burnett's Mountain,
Okay.
back in there.
And where are these walks in Horn Park? Where are they?
It is the perimeter walk,
Oh,
that
okay.
is existing perimeter walk that's in
Shot.
really bad shape.
Okay.
Okay.
And what about the other park?
And then Gwendolyn Brooks. Gwendolyn Brooks is at 37th and Topeka Boulevard.
Correct.
And it's the one that has the Walmart freeway through the middle of it.
The shortcut, yes.
Lost,
Yes.
you know.
And so our plan for this park, for the Gwendolyn Brooks Park,
We have been in discussions with the city to modify that shortcut street through there. We have not got a solid plan on that yet. I know we're going to have some more discussions. The sidewalk would be on the northwest section of the park, but we would put that in with the knowledge that hopefully that street goes away and be
Okay.
able to utilize it.
and I think that's the important part that I wanted to kind of draw out about Gwendolyn Brooks, is that we've been looking at whether or not the 37th Street should exist, or whether it should be eliminated, so that it would just be Topeka Boulevard.
The shortcut through there.
Yeah.
We actually participated in a public event over there this past summer and had discussions with a lot of the neighbors, and it was kind of a toss-up. Some of them wanted it to completely go away, and some of them wanted it to at least still have access from 37th Street into the park there. So, yeah.
Commissioner Mays, this is your district. Any thoughts? Or
Well, I think, I mean, it's not the agenda item, but I guess we can talk about it.
Yeah.
That little street right there, I think was probably a little more necessary back when White Lakes was bustling. And right now, I mean, it's the only intersection that I can think of in the city of Topeka that has a right-hand turn shortcut. And it goes right through the middle of the park. It's kind of a safety concern. That park, I mean, I wouldn't want my kids playing there. Just because people fly through there at 40 miles an hour all day, every day. So, I mean, it makes sense to me to take that out, but probably a conversation for another day.
I heard it was put in there to relieve traffic when the Big Chief Drive-In would release. People could fly through there. It got people out of that area quicker, so that's what I heard anyway. So.
Well, and I think that when we're talking about the perimeter sidewalk, it is part of our discussion, since that road, and the removal of the road would affect our perimeter sidewalk. Correct, John?
No, the initial sidewalk is on the side of the road there to the northwest, sorry. So at this point, it's designed through the park, but we would be able to tap into that if that road goes away to connect the whole park back up together. So
Okay.
it doesn't affect the initial part, no.
All right. Any other discussions? Motion.
I move to approve.
Oh, second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed, reflect that it passes 3-0.
Thank you.
John.
Item E4, consider approval of request to award a bid to Perfect Game Midwest to provide baseball and softball tournaments at Shawnee County facilities throughout the year, with funding available from the Park Services Division operations budget and authorization and execution of contract C481-2021, a 3-year agreement for same.
Randy Luby, Parks and Recreation. Now that I lightened the mood a little bit around here and embarrassed myself like I did, Last month or so, you gave us permission to go out for bid for to host the baseball tournaments at our complexes. We had 2 bids, and we prefer to go with a perfect game. It was the old Midwest Sports production. They are giving more money per game, as well as a donation to our Parks for All Foundation also. We've been very pleased with their service and look forward to working with them again. Be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Randy, have we had pretty good luck with tournament registrations and stuff?
Yeah, I think this past summer, well, actually through COVID, it was down from where we were at, but I look for that to boost back up, hopefully when it starts clearing up a little bit better. But we've checked around, all places are having the same concerns that we had with COVID. So I'm looking forward to working with them. They've worked with us greatly in the past, and like I said, their bid increased quite a bit from their previous contract even, so we're looking forward to that.
Okay.
It's just a shame one of the networks wasn't here to record your lightning of the mood here today.
I talked to Eric Ives, and I told him not to be here, so.
Good.
Is there
So
a
I don't
motion?
have any, I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Reflected it passes 3-0.
Thank
Our
you.
next item. Thank you, Randy.
Item F, County Councilor number 1, consider approval of the framework for opioid litigation proposed by the Kansas Attorney General, including 1, adoption of resolution number 2021-119 for Shawnee County, Kansas to approve and join the statewide litigation regarding the opioid epidemic. 2, adoption of an agreement, contract C-482-2021, to release and assign claims. And 3, adoption of the Kansas Opioids Memorandum of Understanding, Contract C-483-2021, between the Attorney General, the League of Kansas Municipalities, and the Kansas Association of Counties.
And before we get started, I know that there was a lot of discussion about whether this should be 3 separate items or considered as one item with 3 parts, and also in preparation whether or not they needed a resolution and 2 contracts or 1 resolution and 1 contract. But I'll turn it over to Jim for your advice.
This is a framework, so in order to join the framework, we need to adopt the resolution and then both contracts, for lack of a better word. And I'll explain what it is. This is Jim Krause, Shawnee County Councilor. As you know, we hired outside counsel in June of 2019 and joined the national opioid litigation. Since that time, the Kansas Attorney General has negotiated with the Kansas League of Municipalities and the Kansas Association of Counties a framework for handling all future litigation on behalf of both the state of Kansas and local governments. They've set up a deadline for January 1st, 2022 for local governments to opt into this framework. So we have a decision to make, and that is either join with the state of Kansas and the rest of the cities and counties with the framework they've created, or to go it alone. Our outside counsel has recommended that the best approach on behalf of the taxpayers of Shawnee County is to join with the framework. They believe that we will maximize our return in this litigation by joining the framework. So what is that framework? It is the adoption of the resolution. The second document is simply an assignment of our claims to the Kansas Attorney General so that he can represent Shawnee County taxpayers along with the state of Kansas and the other municipalities. And then document number 3 is the Memorandum of Understanding between the state and the cities and counties on how any future settlement funds or judgments obtained through the litigation would be divided between the state of Kansas, participating cities, and participating counties. For cities and counties like Shawnee County that had already been pursuing litigation, there are extra amounts provided through the negotiations, through the anticipated either settlements or bankruptcy structures that incentivizes these local governments to join with their states to settle their claims. I can't give you a precise breakdown of that amount or that's over and above, because it depends on who out of the state of Kansas chooses to participate as local governments in the settlement. Two more things. So we need to adopt those 3 items. We need to authorize the chair, whoever that chair might be from time to time, to sign documents in order to approve settlements as recommended, to assert claims as recommended. We would still, though, number 5, have any spending of settlement monies approved by the full board going forward. So that's sort of the final term I want to talk about. The memorandum of understanding that's been negotiated has a definition for approved uses of the settlement monies, and it's in that document. Basically, it'll be similar to what we're doing with our other grant funding that we receive. We'll have to set it up in a separate account. We'll have to track that money, and then we'll only be able to use it for approved purposes. And there may be slightly different parameters depending on which case we're settling for each approved use. So that's sort of the outline of what we're doing. I guess in summary, it's a framework that you're being asked to agree to today based upon those features.
Questions for Mr. Crowell? Okay. Then at this time, I'll move for approval of the framework for the opioid litigation as proposed by the Kansas Attorney General, including the adoption of Resolution 2021-119, adoption of Contract C-482-2021, adoption of Kansas Opioids Memorandum of Understanding, labeled as Contract C-483-2021, authorization as the chair to sign documents on behalf of Shawnee County as requested by the county councilor, and notation that any spending of the proposed amount or receipts would be by the whole board. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed. Reflected it passes 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next part.
Item G, Information Technology, number 1, consider approval of request to transfer $100,000 from the 2021 IT budget to a project budget for security monitoring.
Morning, Commissioners. Mark Price, Information Technology. We're just requesting that we transfer $100,000 from our 2021 budget into a project fund. This will be used to install some new security monitoring we have.
Questions?
Move for approval.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed. Reflected it passes 3-0. Thank you. Mark. Our next item.
Item 5, Administrative Communications.
Any administrative communications from department heads or members of the public? Bearing glad tidings.
Gee.
Good morning, Commissioners. Larry Moss, Shawnee County Treasurer. This is not only the beginning of winter, this is also the deadline for paying your taxes. So I'm just here to remind you, today is the deadline for paying taxes. You can pay those taxes by walk-in, online, or drop-off. If you mail them today and we have a postmark as of midnight tonight, it's considered on time. We will accept cash, check, credit card, or debit card with a smile. And Merry Christmas.
Any questions for the treasurer? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other administrative communications this morning? Commissioner Rippon?
Well, I volunteered my wife the other night at Old Prairie Town. They had a very nice event for young families, a Christmas event. Had a reindeer out there, Santa Claus, hot chocolate and cookies. I mean, doesn't get any better than that. So, had a nice evening, fairly well attended.
Commissioner Mays?
Nothing for me today. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah. Might note there is no meeting on Thursday due to the holiday, and so hope you're all happy and safe and enjoy it. We'll be back here on Monday, the 20th, or 27th. Madam Clerk, our next item.
Item 6, executive session.
There is a need for an executive session today as we continue to work on our implementation of the Evergreen wage study. This will be for an executive session of personnel matters of non-elected personnel, consultation with the attorney for body or agency which be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship, and matters related to the employee or employee negotiations, whether or not in consultation with a representative or representatives of the body or agency. This will be for a period not to exceed, say, 30 minutes, beginning at 9:45, with no action anticipated. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Reflected, it passes 3-0. We are in executive session.
Jim?
Normal, the same. Me, Betty, Brian.
could.
Did you find a spot I missed? Jimmy?
Nope, did not find any.
There we go.
Merry Christmas, Commissioner Mays.
You too.
Yep, same. Commissioner Cook, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I like the dark side.
I'm sorry, Commissioner